Life update. I thought I'd never get this done, but here we are. I have a nice bookshelf behind me. I have a nice door behind me. Everything is going so well, I could just feel it. So you might have noticed from that little beginning clip that was taken like a couple weeks ago, because I don't really know what the concept of time is, I did get surgery. Case in point, this thing right here. Before anyone thinks that I jumped off a building in an act of being super like cool and Daredevil-ish, that is not what happened. And I really wish it was, because that would have been a cool story, but no, I just got foot surgery done. It was correctional. I didn't break anything on accident. I did this on purpose, and it was on April Fool's, Michael Morbius Day. I'm just so sad I didn't get to see the movie of all time, but it's fine, I guess. And now I've taken 2 APs on the same day in the past few days, and I also have the SAT in a couple days, and then I have the AP Lang exam a few days after that. So it's been a really fun time. I've had so much fun. Last few days, so much fun, I can barely think. That's been my life so far. I wanted to do this little insert thing because I like to talk about stuff that's happened, not just show it. Because usually I'm too chicken to even try filming in public. Like, the Target clips were already enough. Anyways, I am going to talk about what's been going on and explain some things. I finished Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and it is probably one of my favorite books so far this year, but also just in general. This book I had gotten recommended to me so many times, and for some reason I just kept putting it off. Like, it would be in stores that I would go to. I would go to the book section, I would see it, but never pick it up. I don't really know what the reason for that was. I'm not going to excuse myself, because clearly I've been missing out for the past however long this book's been out. Yeah, that is totally on me. I'm so sorry, but I loved this book. It took me a while to finish it because I was trying to balance reading physical books on my TBR and also reading arcs that I've received on NetGalley, which I will be talking about in a future video. This is just a really interesting book. It's got the perfect amount of drama. Like, it's drama, it's real, it feels real. I was actually fooled that Daisy Jones and the Six was an actual band that existed when I first started reading this, even though I knew going into it that it's not. But this book is about a 1970s band, a fictional 1970s band called Daisy Jones and the Six, consisting of Daisy Jones, but also the Six, and they kind of rose to fame on their own, but then they collaborated for the first time, and it just sparks flew. But not just between Daisy Jones and the band, but also Daisy Jones and the lead singer of the Six. Why did I say that so weird? The lead singer of the Six, Billy Dunn. I don't know how to explain this, but essentially we're doing a choice novel project in my ELA class, and I was originally going to talk about H.G. Wells' The Time Machine, which was a really great book. I read it, it was great, but I realized that there wasn't much to talk about, even though there's a lot to discuss about the time period in which it was written in. But for some reason, I just couldn't get a grasp on what the themes were, and I just didn't have time to really figure that out. But I was like, what if I just read this book really quickly and then decided to use this as my project? I love the interview format. I wrote some notes on it. I'm still in the process of doing that because I have so much to say, so little time. That's all I have to say for Daisy Jones and the Six. So if you saw in the earlier parts of the vlog, I had this. This is my sketch notes for The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, which I put under this book. The Bell Jar. This is actually a really nice classic. Usually I don't get attached to books that were assigned in school just because we're being assigned to read them, and it doesn't feel as authentic as seeing a book on a shelf, picking it out, reading the description, looking at the cover, and being like, this is the book I'm going to read. I would not have read this book if it weren't for us getting assigned it, but I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm almost done. I have like 60 pages left of it, and I've been annotating it pretty heavily. So essentially it's like bullet journaling-ish, sketching. I don't really know how to describe it, but it is kind of fun. I'm not the most creative when it comes to this stuff, but I have enjoyed kind of doing these drawings and then writing around it. It makes my handwriting look neater than it actually is. Now, before we get into any of this, I would probably say like both of these books are really not the best to read. How do I word it? Without sounding really weird. Both of these have trigger warnings. The Bell Jar I would like put a heavy emphasis on because it is very openly discussing suicide and depression from the perspective of a 19-year-old named Esther Greenwood. So I would suggest really looking into that and cautioning yourself against reading this book if you are not in the right mental state, because it very clearly depicts depression. Daisy Jones and the Six is about a lot of substance abuse and downward spirals of rock stars. So both of these are kind of like iffy when it comes to content warnings, trigger warnings, but overall they are very well written books. Anyways, and that is my small update because I wanted to go into depth about things. I'm excited to see Multiverse of Madness. I might be going to see it with friends because I am just a scaredy cat. We all knew that, but yeah, I'm just there's so many things to be excited for. Oh, Moon Knight was great. That's probably my favorite Marvel series that's come out so far, besides the Netflix ones that just got moved to Disney Plus. I'm talking about like the exclusively Disney Plus ones. This has been a really long rant, but it was worth it. Yeah, I will see you later.